Introduce you to Kris Hatton.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Yeah, I think I was in here about a month ago speaking with, was it year 11s?
Yes.
Year 10s. So what we were talking about is, it was a little bit about my journey of what I've been from school to college and then into a career, which is a career which very much relevant to what they were saying up there, being happy and enjoying what I'm doing. And I was talking a little bit about like passions that you have and the purpose that you've got. And it was really good, to be fair. It worked out. So I've changed this one up slightly just because of your age group. So you're year 8s, am I right? Yeah, so this little presentation that I'm doing for you now, but I called it Seize in the Moment because I think right now, the age that you're at, there's opportunities out there that you can take advantage of right now. And I just wanted to run through a few things. So the whole point of this is we're going to talk about seizing the moment and understanding your passions and unleashing your creativity. All right, that's what the whole talk is going to be about. I'm going to break it down. I know I'm a bit caught for time, so we'll go through this and I'll share a little bit of my journey at the same time. So why now? This is a very important time of your lives where I believe that you can utilize every bit of time that you've got. We do need downtime, but there's free time that you have, which I think that you can tap into your passions, and I think you can start putting things in place to help you through your school journey, your college journey, and then into your careers. Discovering your passions. So what is it that sometimes gets you up on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning where you could potentially be lying in? Or what subject is it at school that gets you up in the morning thinking, yes, I've got it? Typically for me, my favourite subjects at school, PE was one of them. Used to love drama, used to love food tech. They were sort of all of my sort of main passions and focuses. And what are you doing in your free time? So even in those photos there, I know quite a few people this day and age might like a bit of gaming, any sort of sports, any sort of building, creating Lego, could be reading, a lot of things. So I believe that those passions that you've got now, those hobbies that you have, I think what else are you doing with them? So are you just reading that book? Are you just playing that game of football? Are you just playing those video games? Are you just drawing those pictures, creating that bit of art? But what else are you doing with it? Because passions, when your passion becomes more than a passion, it can turn into a career. And you can start embedding some of those qualities right now. So this is quite a key one for school as well. I think you'll have certain subjects right now and GCSE topics that you might be looking forward to, that some you're going to love and some you're not going to love so much, but you have to try and experiment with those. Because if at school I probably was more of a maths person than an English person, wasn't a massive fan of it, but now getting older, English has become a lot more relevant to what I'm doing, whether it's me writing some blogs or creating some social media content, and I've had to try and work it a little bit harder now, and I wish I would have put that in place when I was probably at school now. So with all of those, as hard as it might seem, you've got to try and give everything a go, because you never know. Right now you might hate science, but you never know that over time, the more commitment you put to it, you might be doing something within the science industry. But you've got to experiment, and you've got to have that sort of open mindset and a little bit more determination with it, because you never know what it's going to lead to in the end. Okay? The power of creativity. So creativity isn't just your artists, and I think we were just talking about there sitting in a coffee shop, and there's a whole situation where you're sitting there and you're drinking a coffee, but whether it's that bit of art that's on there or it's that price of that coffee, all of that sort of stuff, there's something that your mind's going to be attracted to. Okay? With me, I used to love sport, I used to love football. I very much started out as a goalkeeper and goalkeeper coaching. But when I was younger, especially within your sort of age group, my journey, and I don't really like the entrepreneur word, but even from a young age, probably younger than what you are now, maybe when I was at primary school, I was fixated on trying to make something. So whether at one moment it was like making money. So I remember setting up like car boots outside my house, like literally on a table, brought all my toys and everything out there, sat it all down. I didn't have anyone come for about an hour. I think my mum had to ring up my neighbours to try and tell them to come over and try and buy something to make it worthwhile for me. But as soon as I had that sort of transaction of money coming over and giving something away, I didn't really, at one point I thought, I'm going to try and save up for, at the time, a new Game Boy or something. But then I was so fixated on making that money that I didn't actually want to spend it on anything else. I wanted to try and make more. So my sort of creativity was sort of building, learning, trying to make as much as I can with what I have. And I have very good conversations at the moment with my current college boys. We have this lesson which I run, which is called Side Hustle. So it's a little bit what I'm trying to say to you now. What you're doing while you're having your free time. So we spoke to them about doing some online stuff, which is free, by the way. A lot of it is free. And a lot of them said, well, I haven't really got the money to do it. And I said, well, go home, have a look in your bedroom and see how much stuff in there that you've got that you don't use. Because that's sitting there and it's collecting dust. Get out there, go and sell that. There's your money, there's your pot that's building up. And then try and spend it on things that you want to try and create more money for. So creativity comes in many ways. Developing yourself is a massive thing. Now, I was quite fortunate enough when I was at school to, there was moments where, and I completely get it, with some days you're going to be up for going to school, some days you might be a bit low, but there was sometimes when I was sitting in a lesson, there were certain things that I liked, I wanted to try and extend that. So not all of your learning is done from school, it could be done a lot outside of school. So for my company, and I've got 2 companies, I learned how to, because someone quoted me up about £2,000 to build my own website, and I was like, right, I'm going to learn how to do it myself. Where did I learn how to build my own website? On YouTube. Where did I learn about business and stuff like that? Reading books. A lot of online courses that I went to, what I sat behind. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do right now that you can do outside of school, and maybe even to help you in some of the areas of school. So you just got to maximise your time a little bit more. Embrace social media and online, but not in the way of sitting there getting stuck in that trance of scrolling. But let's just say my passion is football. So I do a lot of content online where I create a bit of content about some sort of drill or some sort of finishing exercise or goalkeeping exercise. I'm thinking, I'm really enjoying this moment right now. Why am I not filming it? Why am I not putting it out there? Because I'm on the belief of trying to share ideas with other people. So whatever you're doing, even if it was, like I said before, Lego, if you love Lego and you love building stuff, why not record what you're doing at the same time? You know, there's so much in social media, and don't get me wrong, sometimes when I'm stressed and I've got a lot of pressure, I don't mind sitting there, flicking through TikTok just to have a little bit of a wind down. But if it turns into 1 or 2 hours, I don't feel like I'm maximising my time. I'd rather be creating than viewing. But that's the situation what I've got at the moment. So you do have to be careful with it, but you do have to embrace it, because there's a lot that's gone on. And does anyone here know the legal age of actually working? Go on. No, it's not 16. No, it's lower, it's 13. Okay, and in certain situations, some people can actually work lower than that, but 13 is what the national government say is the illegal age for you to work. So even if it turns into you creating something that you can share with the world, and all of a sudden you start getting those hits and those likes and stuff like that, it can then build. But try and do it around your passions and your focuses. It's okay, okay. And that's just me just reiterating on the online learning. There's so much that's out there that if you have your passion and you have your purpose, that there's so much content in there to try and send it to another level. And when you start getting that hunger for what your passion is and you start developing it and you start tweaking it, you can really turn it into something already. And it can also give you something to turn around to your teachers, because your teachers, as soon as it makes it, and for us, college students as well, as soon as somebody says, yes, I know what I want to do for a career, I'm like, right, perfect. We're at that situation now where we can take you from there to another level. But as soon as your teachers have an idea of what your passion is and what you want to achieve, it makes their life a lot easier as well. I think it's, yep, that's it. Passion projects, start one. That's what we're saying right now. Now I'm looking in the room, and I mean, any sort of, like, I can imagine that there's probably quite a few different hobbies and interests that you like. If you like reading a book, how about writing a book? Yeah? There's so many things that you could have a look into, or I'm quite a big fan of podcasts and stuff, and I'm just about to launch my second podcast on Monday, which is all about coaches and sharing their ideas. And I'm bringing together different coaches in my industry that people would naturally call my competitors. They're coming in to have a chat with me because we're just sharing it, because my purpose is to try and help and develop within certain industries of sport. So don't be afraid to start your passion project now. Collaboration is a massive one. There might be two people in the room that like knitting. Get together with that person, all right? Speak to other people. Two, as it says there, like two people together are much better than one. When you start bouncing ideas off of each other, when I have my board meetings at work and I start speaking to people, as soon as I go in there with my idea and I'm thinking that's the one, somebody comes out with something else. I'm like, wow, that's a good idea. Collaboration within your passion, and it might be that somebody over this side of the room has no idea what the passion is from that person over there, but you need to start talking to people and coming together, because you'll grow, okay, and you'll grow your ideas. Overcoming challenges is probably the most important slide that's on here, because don't go and try something and just because you fail that first time, don't give up on it, all right? Obstacles. I'm currently in a situation last night and this morning which I'm pulling my hair out, because my podcast that I'm released on Monday is going on all platforms, but I can't get my Apple ID, and I've spoken to Apple support and I've spoken to the podcast support. I cannot get that linked up for this podcast, which I've got a release on Monday. All the other platforms, YouTube, Spotify, it's all ready to go, it's all launched. Apple won't do it. Most people look at Apple for podcasts. Now I can't give up on it. I've got to make sure it's ready for Monday. So I've got to go and sit on the phone for hours probably later on trying to get it all signed up. But you have to stay resilient, okay? Never give up on those dreams. Your time is now, guys. And I'm not saying that right now that I'm speaking to the next Elon Musk sitting in the room, or the next Steve Jobs, or anyone out, but just that little passion and purpose that you might have, your free time right now can be maximised more than what I think you're going to be giving it. Okay? We all need downtime. All right? We all need downtime. A very good thing that I done with my college boys the other day is we worked out over the space of a week how much sleep they had, how much time they had at college, how much time they had football, how much time they had social time, and then they were left in a week with about 60 hours of what they called their free time, on average. Some had more, some had less. I said, well, what are you doing with that 60 hours each week? Their free time would be sitting on a game, maybe watching TV. It's fine. Allocate some time for that. But the other time, the other free time that you have, you've got to maximise it, okay, to try and better yourself. And that's it. And as you can see at the bottom there, I'm still Kris Hatton, and it's still the 23rd of April. So you've just got to try and maximise your time from starting from today. Thank you.